Hello, everybody, as you are joining us here this fine, fabulous day. Hope you're all having a fine, fabulous day. No matter where you are, whether you're just getting started, already through it, coming to the end, we are so excited to have you here with Ask Doc Live. This program is being brought to you by AskDocLive.com, and we want to make sure that if you have spoken to anybody about any of the supplements that will be spoken about today, or if somebody specifically said, hey, watch this show, plug in, ask questions, make sure you get back with them if you have any questions or want to make an order, okay? We are a resource here for an amazing community that is sharing the hope of alternatives and empowering people to take control of their own health. So whether you are deficient or sick and want to work on yourself in changing that, or if you are super healthy and you just want to stay super healthy for the decades to come, we're here for you as well. So we don't leave anybody out. But I want to make sure that you do get back with the person that referred you to this program. So Ask Doc Live, we are a place where you can come and ask a real naturopathic doctor who has decades of personal research in the veterinarian world, in the human world, at the pathology level. So I think that it's a very unique situation, and I am very blessed and honored to host this program. And my name is Rebecca Kozak. My hosts with me today are John T. McCollier and Ruth Ellen Sanchez. And if you are on live with us and you have a question, go to that Zoom menu and raise your hand. I will be going back and forth between the hands that are raised, the questions in the chat, and emails that have come in, and getting those answers for you from a very, very amazing doctor who has not spared any expense in being able to bring the truth to the worldwide population. Now, the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition and supplementation in a world where the food supply is empty and void of what the body needs, not just to survive, but actually thrive. The FDA does require us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases, and this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. But we do bring the good news, that news of hope, that whatever your family history is and what's been labeled as genetic does not have to be your story. Epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. And with epigenetics, you are empowered as an individual to have more control than you think over your own health journey. And we invite you to feel the difference with the options shared in this program. And to guide us, it is absolutely an honor to have one of the founding fathers of this science of epigenetics to help us with what we need in order to maintain or obtain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome, Dr. Wallach. Thank you so much for once again taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. It is such an honor, and we appreciate you and your time so much.
Well, thank you for the kind introduction, all the kind words, and thank you, John T. and Ruth Ellen, and staff. Appreciate all that you guys do. And of course, I'm very, very excited, that we're talking about epigenetics. I'm considered one of the founding fathers of epigenetics, along with Bruce Lipton. He is a neurologist, and I am a pathologist. And we both came to the same conclusion many years ago. that there were no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. And this is very scary to people, because their doctor said, look, you have this genetic disease. You have 5 generations of a autoimmune thing going on in your family. Well, there are no autoimmune diseases. There are no genetic diseases. When a doctor didn't know the answer, they would blame it on your bad genes or your family's problems or your body's attacking itself and all this kind of stuff to kind of take the pressure off of them. And Dr. Milan and I, we went to China. We did one study where we did 1,500 autopsies. No, I take that back. 1,700 autopsies. I take that back. 1,700 autopsies of kids under the age of 10 who had died suddenly of a heart attack. This is called Qishan disease in China. Again, 1,700 autopsies. And we were able to show that the cause of cystic fibrosis, thought to be the biggest example, the greatest unimpeachable example of a genetically transmitted disease, was just a simple nutritional deficiency of a single mineral. And then also that the disease, okay, let's see here. We have cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy. The disease muscular dystrophy was thought to be a genetically transmitted disease. And of course, Jerry Lewis, very famous Jerry Lewis, a comedian, but he had the telethon, and for 20 years, he raised over $2 billion for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And we gave him all this data that we got from these 1,700 autopsies. And he got so excited because he talked to the doctors who had signed off on these charts that dozens and dozens of these kids with muscular dystrophy, we had reversed the disease on them, they're back to normal. And so he took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis and shut down the telethon after he had raised $2 billion for him. And then as a sort of a sidelight on there, we wound up also getting rid of sudden death syndrome, which doctors said were caused by mothers laying on their babies at night when they're in bed with their babies. No, 98% of the babies that died of sudden death syndrome were in cribs by themselves. So I'm the one who made them change it to crib death. But also the 2% that were in bed with their mothers when they died, they weren't laid on by their mothers. They died of this hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease called Qishan disease in China. And we did this study in Heilongjiang province in Harbin Medical School at the Qishan Hospital, and published in 3 languages. And I received the Klaus Schwartz award for this, which is kind of like the top award for biochemistry. The only thing that would be higher than that would be the Nobel Prize. And I was nominated twice for the Nobel Prize on this, but because it flew in the face of everything that doctors believed, I was not awarded the Nobel Prize, although I was nominated twice, but I did get the Klaus Schwartz gold medal. So very, very proud of that. Now, this keeps going forward here. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. In the book Epigenetics, really, everybody needs to have at least one of those in the household. It's about 2 inches thick, but it goes into the history of all these incorrect interpretations of observations, because the doctors didn't have the backgrounds. They didn't have the science. They weren't trained in these things. And so they're just making, what should I say, loose judgments based on what they had heard as opposed to what they were seeing. Well, epigenetics, and there's a CD that goes along with it. And then there's a follow-up book called Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen came along because of all these pandemics we were having. You know, we had the Spanish flu, we had the Asian flu, we had the swine flu, we had the H1N1, we had the H2N2, we had SARS, MERS, we had COVID-2, and then we have COVID-19 with all the variations and everything. And I guarantee you there'll be more pandemics when this one's over, okay? Because people aren't listening, they're not solving the problem. The problem is you have to take your 90 essential nutrients. And I always say, praise the Lord and pass the 90. We actually have a CD and a DVD set labeled that way, praise the Lord and pass the 90, because this was based on situation where we had a pastor up in Baltimore, Maryland, a pastor, by the name of Mike Freeman, and he was in a coma for, I don't know, 3 to 4 months. And the doctors, told his family, look, he's probably got less than a week to live. And so one of our great distributors up there in Baltimore, Maryland, Linda Tyler, she called me and said, hey, anything we can do for this guy? I said, well, does he have a G-tube? We can give him our supplements through a G-tube. And she says, no. I said, okay, what I want you to do is, he's married, right? Yeah, we'll get his wife and yourself and get a couple of quarts of our plant-derived colloidal minerals, the liquid minerals, and take 2 cupfuls a day, 1 cupful in the morning and 1 cupful in the afternoon of the plant-derived colloidal minerals, and use some cotton balls and rub them all over his back or his legs, whatever's exposed, or his chest, whatever's exposed. And in 3 days' time, this guy who was supposed to die, from this coma he was in, he gets up and goes back to the church, and he gets on his TV and his radio station, which was attached to the church, and put out the word and so forth, and had me fly out there. And he and I put together these interviews, a Zoom interview and a CD. And so this is all on these, the DVD and the CD, called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. And we're working on a big project now to deal with it again, to help people support their immune systems, because of all this pandemic stuff going on, because there's another one coming. And so it's one of those deals where people really are only beginning to understand that these diseases are simple nutritional deficiency diseases. There's over 600 different nutritional deficiency diseases. And one of the first places that people knew that there was things that we needed for health was salt. And to medical doctors, salt is the big enemy. Well, that's because salt saves your life. And so you go back to the beginning of written history, and the first supplement that people were actually evaporating salt water and taking the dried salt and selling it, that was the first supplement programs out there thousands of years ago. Sodium chloride. Every cell in your body needs it. Your stomach needs it to be able to make hydrochloric acid, so you can break down proteins into amino acids, so you can absorb iron and B12. And so salt has 2 very, very important nutrients in it. Sodium and chloride. Sodium chloride. Well, and doctors have demonized that because it benefits them when they demonize salt. It benefits the medical community when they demonize salt. And so we have a pink Himalayan salt that was made when the oceans went away up in the Himalayan mountains some thousands of years ago. And it left all these salt deposits. And of course, when we learned about this, we also get our minerals there, because when the oceans went away, all the reefs died, and all the algae that were with the reefs, the organic material went away, but the minerals were there. So we get our plant minerals at the same place. We get the pink Himalayan salt. And so we have all these very unique products. And so we have, again, our motto is praise the Lord and pass the 90. We give God all the credit, but we're making sure that everybody has opportunity to take the 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 acids, 3 fatty acids. And really the only other products on the market that beat their chest and claim their complete supplement program only has 27 nutrients in there. It's not even a third. Where are you going to get the others? Well, that's why we have this program. And right now, people are streaming to us by the tens of thousands every month all over the world. We're in 60 countries. We have warehouses in 60 countries, and we are growing like crazy. And so this is because people know that their medical systems have failed them, no matter what language they speak, no matter what countries they're in, no matter what color they are, no matter what race they are, no matter what gender they are, it doesn't matter. You need the 90 essential nutrients. And then there was another piece that was missing, absorption. Gluten, which people have been eating, and you notice that there was no gluten. I went back and looked many times in the Old Testament and looked at the things that were growing in the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden was primarily herbs and vegetables. There were no grains. There was no wheat, barley, rye, or oats in the Garden of Eden. Now, once people started eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats, it kills your intestines and causes irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, celiac disease. All those are caused by gluten. And when your intestinal villi, the little finger-like things, go away, suddenly now your intestines are like a plastic tube instead of a shag rug. You lose 98% or more of the absorptive surface. And even if you're supplementing, you're not going to get the results you're hoping for. So you have to get off of gluten. And we have my newest book, which is out, has been out now for, I'd say since August. It's been out since August, so about 4 months. And it goes into gluten-free cooking. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And all these chefs were all over me. Well, we can't make meals without gluten. You know, everybody has to have bread and spaghetti and noodles and oatmeal for breakfast and pancakes and waffles and flour tortillas. And I said, no, they don't. Okay. The longest of the peoples in the old days and the Bible in the Old Testament, you know, they're living 800 years of age. They didn't have any gluten. Okay. So let's look at that. Well, it turns out that this gluten, of course, is the thing that produces a chemical that gets those villi to die and go away. And so now you have a smooth, like plastic tube as an intestine instead of a shag rug with all that surface area. And so there's two things you have to do to maximize your health. Number one, get rid of the bad foods out of your diet. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens. And so you want to get a hold of this book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Food. There are 3 professional chefs in Eastern Canada. These are guys who had TV shows, big restaurants, big hotels, and so forth. And they just wouldn't believe me. So we did a 3-year study, and we got feedback from the people who were buying the meals and everything that I had set up, my recipes. And after 3 years, they had to agree that I was correct. And so we came up with this book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It's 300 pages of gluten-free and healthy cooking, no frying and all that kind of stuff. And so it's one of those things where it's a beautiful thing. This book is going out like crazy right now. And of course, it makes a great gift for holidays, for birthdays, for graduations. Just because you love grandma and you want her to, you know, add 20 more years or 50 more years to her 80-year-old life, get her that book. You know, I talked to somebody the other day whose son was in rabbinical school going to be a rabbi, and he was sick, okay, at 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, you know, just in his early stages of rabbinical studies. But he was sick in the hospital because he had all these problems. Well, was he taking supplements? No. Was he eating gluten? What's that? Well, bread and see here. Well, they ate matzah bread. Well, yeah, you know, that's what the Hebrews do. Well, that's why they have all these problems that are related to the Hebrew people, because they're eating gluten, and they don't supplement. Okay. And so this is one of those things where this is very simple stuff. It's very, very simple stuff. And even a little kid can understand it. Okay. And so it's one of those things where Jerry Lewis was so excited, and he took the prevention and cure for muscular dystrophy to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis and shut down his telethon after they had raised $2 billion for them. They're crazy. And instead of saying, well, okay, we got to research this here before we make any public announcements. What they did, they just summarily fired him when he walked in the door and told him he was all excited, and he gave him a little presentation. They fired him instantly. What a terrible, stupid thing they did. And of course, since then, 2011, you haven't heard anything about the telethon WHO, the Muscular Dystrophy Association WHO, because they shot themselves not only in the foot, but the chest and the head. And so it was a crazy thing they did. Well, right now, we have all these various medical associations coming to me. We have more and more medical doctors joining us in longevity now. I was kind of shocked. I said, we had how many this month, medical doctors joining us? Because they see what we're doing around the world in 60 countries. Okay. We have a CD called the Red Warning Lights. There's like, I don't know, 8 or 9 different diseases that are caused by nutritional deficiencies. And these are red warning lights. They're telling you, for instance, if you have gray hair, you're in trouble, not because of aging. Gray hair has nothing to do with aging. It's caused by nutritional deficiency. Babies are born with gray hair. Okay. Michael Jackson had vitiligo, which is kind of related to gray hair, and varicose veins and hemorrhoids are all caused by the same deficiency. And he had vitiligo. He had lost his skin color and patches on his hands and his legs when he was a little kid, 4, 5, 6 years old. And the doctors told his parents that this was genetic, nothing to do but put makeup on him if they wanted to, but there's nothing they could do about it. It's a genetic thing. And by the time he was a teenager, his hair turned snow white and the skin on his hands and face was white as a typing paper. So they put all these makeups on him and drew pictures and things on his face with makeup and lipstick and put gloves on him with all the jewelry. And everybody thought that was because of his entertainment stuff. Okay, but it was covering up all this white skin. And he died at age 51 of a ruptured aortic aneurysm, which is caused by the same deficiency that causes the gray hair and vitiligo and varicose veins and spider veins and hemorrhoids. So he had many, many years of warning, but they're just doing surface cosmetic issues as opposed to getting down to the root cause of the problem. And so this is what the book Epigenetic is. The book Epigenetics, really can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. If you go there, you will be amazed at all the diseases that are said to be genetic or not. Lupus is not an autoimmune disease. It's actually just caused by gluten intake and multiple nutritional deficiencies. And, you get the rosacea on their face, they get these psoriasis in the skin. Rheumatoid arthritis is not an autoimmune disease. It's caused by a nutritional deficiency arthritis with a secondary infection with a bug called mycoplasma, which is killable with an antibiotic called minocycline. So you get on the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and MSM and some vitamin D3 and our Beyond OsteoFX liquid and our collagen peptides. You throw all those together. And then you take that and you add the, 6 to 8 weeks of a prescription called minocycline. I don't care if you've had rheumatoid arthritis for 40 days, in less than 90 days, it's gone. Usually in 2 weeks, you're seeing magic. In 6 weeks, you're seeing really magic. And within 2 months, it's gone. Because none of what the doctors was saying was true. And so this is unimpeachable stuff. It's published in the book, Epigenetics, and it's one of my best-selling books. And I urge everybody to have at least one of those in the house. And no matter what your kids are going to do when they grow up, they need to be reading that book. Grandma needs that book. You need to give one to the pastor, to the rabbi, to the imam, okay, and so forth. And everybody who deals with people should have this book, Epigenetic, and also Hell's Kitchen. This goes into the switch from wood as fuel for stoves and fireplaces to electricity. The wood ashes have been used by human beings for, thank you, for, oh gosh, since the beginning of humans. They put wood ashes in their food, they put wood ashes in their gardens. And that was our source of minerals. That was our source of nutritional minerals. When we switched to electricity, nobody said, now we've given up the wood ashes here to go to electricity. And so now we need to start consciously supplementing with Dr. Wallach's vitamins and minerals to make up the difference, because there's no more wood ashes available to us, which has been since thousands of years, has been our source of nutritional minerals. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn this over to you, Rebecca. Thank you for holding up those books.
Yeah, so one thing I wanted to point out, epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. I mean, that says a lot right there.
Yep, that says it all in the title.
And people may not understand what epigenetics, well, that's a foreign word, but the death of a genetic theory of disease transmission. I mean, transmission means spread, people.
Yep. And through this, I'm the guy who got rid of cystic fibrosis. I'm the guy that got rid of muscular dystrophy. And I'm the guy that actually got rid of sudden death syndrome. Now, how many people get rid of 3 diseases like that, 2 of which are thought to be genetic, and the other one thought to be the mothers laying on their babies? I'm the guy that got rid of those, and that's why I got that Klaus Schwartz Award. And did I get invited to speak to medical students? No. Did I get invited to speak to pharmacy school students? No. Did I get invited to speak to nursing school students? No. Did I get to speak to naturopathic schools? No. Did I get to speak to veterinary schools? No. They all just kind of hunkered down and shut up. They didn't. They were afraid that if I went there and spoke at their schools, that people would stop donating money to them.
Well, Dr. Wallach, so you're only 83 years. You've got
Yes.
another 40 years, Doc. I think things are changing, and we've got a lot of things going on. You are also the only or the first recipient to receive this Claus Schwartz Award, who was a naturopath and veterinarian.
That is correct.
It's like how many people do you know go from one world where, I mean, you love veterinarians.
Oh, yes.
Aspects of veterinarians.
Well, I'm still a veterinarian.
But you took all of that information and expounded.
Yes. Well, now you have to appreciate, Rebecca, and this is all said very clearly in this book, that all of the first understanding that these diseases were thought to be genetic and autoimmune were not, was in the animal industry, because we don't have health insurance for animals. So the farmer couldn't afford to invite the veterinarian out every week to treat his animals, and insurance would pay. And so they kept after the veterinary community. The veterinary community learned very quickly that all these diseases like arthritis, things like autoimmune diseases, genetic diseases, were all really just caused by nutritional deficiencies. And that's why you have these pellets, these little alfalfa pellets and these little bean-like pellets for animals, because they have all the nutrients in them. So the animal can't separate them out. They can't just sort of look through the food and eat the things they want. They have to eat everything, including the 90 essential nutrients. And that's why meat and milk and dairy and those sort of things are so cheap, because we don't have to have the veterinarian going out and seeing these animals every week and every day, because they are doing well, because we put all these nutrients into there and they can't sort through them. And the whole story of how that happened, and all of the various initial diseases we got rid of. And of course, in racehorses, they wanted to get rid of the arthritis and joint problems and muscle problems, those kind of things, which still plague human beings, unfortunately. And of course, the pharmaceutical industry loves it. The medical doctors, well, they'll say, well, let's try this for a while. If it doesn't work, we can give you an artificial knee. We can give you an artificial hip. We can do some back surgery. There's 25 different diseases that are caused by osteoporosis of the skull. And they don't even teach in medical school that you can get osteoporosis of the skull. And you talk to doctors, and they say, we've never heard of that. And they look it up and say, it's never been published that there's osteoporosis of the skull. That's how ignorant they are. There you go. It's all in your head.
Yeah. That takes me to the next book, Dr. Wallach. And let's talk about just how, well, with osteoporosis of the skull, we're looking at bones and their structure. But with the bones and their structure, it's also related to connective tissue.
That's correct. Well, the basic sort of rebar, if you will, the basic material of bone is connective tissue, okay? And it's the same stuff that tendons and ligaments are made out of. And the skull is like more than 50% this connective tissue, all right? And so when you get osteoporosis of the skull, it goes from being a quarter of an inch thick to an inch thick, okay? And it's called Paget's disease. I wanted to change the name from Paget's disease to Wallach's disease, because Paget, over 100 years ago, thought this was due to an autoimmune disease. They were first talking about autoimmune disease a little over 100 years ago. And so they thought this Paget's disease, osteoporosis of the skull, was an autoimmune disease. And so doctors don't pay attention to it because they think it's an autoimmune disease, but actually it's just osteoporosis of the skull. And you have all these tunnels that these 12 pairs of cranial nerves go through, and the spinal cord goes out of the back of the skull. People don't realize it, but your spinal cord is not formed in your spine, it's formed in your skull, in your brain, and then comes out of the back of the skull. And when your skull gets to be an inch thick, the tunnel that the spinal cord goes through gets about half the size it should be, so it squeezes the spinal cord, okay? And you can actually be born paralyzed if the baby is born with osteoporosis of the skull. It happens a lot, okay? And so the skull is squeezing that spinal cord, okay? And it's called Erb's palsy. And then it also squeezes maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or all 12 of these nerves. People know about tinnitus, ringing in the ears. You had that. That's osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the auditory branch of the eighth cranial nerve. And then when you get vertigo or dizziness, oh, I stand up and I get dizzy all the time. You had that too. And that's caused by squeezing the vestibular branch of the eighth cranial nerve. And people know about Bell's palsy on one side of your face droops as squeezing the facial nerve, the seventh cranial nerve. And then there's trigeminal neuralgia, the fifth cranial nerve is being squeezed, is very painful. And then you get ONA, optic nerve atrophy, and you just get a slow loss of vision where you have to change your glasses every 6 months. You know, the prescription you have to change every 6 months. That's because the optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein are all being squeezed by the skull and causing all these problems. And then you have all these dental problems when you're a teenager, you're growing, right? If you have osteoporosis of the skull, you got to go to an orthodontist. That's because you have osteoporosis of the skull and your teeth are kind of floating around because your jaw and your facial bones are all part of the skull. And so all of this is totally preventable and reversible with a supplement program, okay, which we call the Healthy Bone and Joint Program, okay? And then, of course, we created the MSM so that heavy duty connective tissue like tendons and ligaments and fasciitis, fascia, the big flat tendon like on the bottom of your foot. Oh, I got fasciitis in the bottom of my foot, okay? Plantar fasciitis. Well, it's a big flat tendon that goes from your heel to your toes. And these things all require all these nutrients. And that's why we have these things. We deal with athletes. I mean, we have had athletes that their careers were destroyed. Theo Ratliff is a good example. His career was destroyed. He was 24 years old, and he was playing basketball for the Atlanta Hawks, and he had a $35 million contract. And like a year into it, they fired him because he fractured his wrist, his shooting arm. He had bone-to-bone arthritis in his knees, and all the cartilage was gone. The cartilage went off one of his hips. We came up with a healthy bone and joint pack for him. We came up with our rebound or sports strength for him. That's why his pictures on the label of these things. And after 3 months in our program, he got his contract back for $35 million. He played for 11 more years, and he made over $100 million just because of the healthy bone and joint pack and the rebound. Fixed him and maintained him during 11 years of a professional basketball career. Now, we have 2 CDs that I want everybody to listen to go along with the book Epigenetics, in addition to the CDs Epigenetics. One is called Supplementation, okay, or see here. How's it go? Exercise.
Yeah.
There you go. Exercise without supplementation is suicide. Okay, and the other one is dead athletes don't lie, because you can be making, just like Theo was making millions of dollars, but he wasn't supplementing. He's fallen apart, and he lost his career. If we hadn't come along and saved him with the nutrition, his career would have been over. And all that potential, those 11 years that he did a great thing for the Atlanta Hawks. And his own family. Now, I have to give him a lot of credit, because when he retired, and actually a couple of years before he retired, he took and set up a program for kids in his community. And so all these kids after school, especially the parents are working, they get to go there. He's got 300 kids that go to this center that he set up for these kids after school. And for 2 or 3 hours every day, Monday through Friday, they have mentors and trainers and Boy Scout and Girl Scout leaders there. They have pastors, they have rabbis, they have all these people there who are working with these kids in Theo Ratliff's center for these kids. And he's giving back to the community. And it brings tears to your eyes of happiness, because of all the things that Theo Ratliff is doing for the world, all because of these supplements.
Yeah, it's fabulous. And Dr. Wallach, I mean, I used to supplement a lot. And I kept going downhill and downhill. I was cherry picking. I would hear about this product, this nutrient on this show and this nutrient from this show. And,
what was missing?
Well, 1, it was the form. 2, it was the cofactors. And 3, I know that there was a lot missing, because I was taking probably about 30, 40 different bottles, most of them individual supplements. And there's 90 essential nutrients.
Were you eating gluten back then?
I was grinding my own wheat. I was buying my own wheat berries, organic, and going by this thing called a food pyramid.
The 7 food group
where-
pyramid.
Yeah, where, all of these grains were at the top and you were supposed to have those as the main thing. But I was growing my own vegetables, but it just, I had to stop and think about it, because when I heard your show, and then I thought about what I had going on, which was all connective tissue stuff for the most part. I mean, I had fibromyalgia, I had degenerative disc disease, I had a torn hip capsule, migraines, tinnitus, the compression fractures, which is bone, I said fibromyalgia, but carpal tunnel. I had the vertigo, I had restless leg syndrome, sciatica, plantar fasciitis. I mean, all these things that you mentioned was in one package. And I felt like I was dead, or I was ready to, which brought in depression. And I took your liquid form of what would be, very similar to the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, which is the Pig Pack Plus, which I am so thankful is still available. And within the month, I was feeling alive again, and within 3 months, I was able to move without any restrictions. And I heard, oh, I'm supposed to cut out gluten. I'm like, okay, so I cut out gluten, and it just like poof, got so much better, so faster. And I just can't stop from sharing what you have put together with everybody I talk to. So, and the fact that I'm honored to be here and host you right now is like a dream come true. So,
Well, you were probably chosen by the big guy upstairs. Okay. I think you're an angel of God. And, you lost over 100 pounds.
I believe that. Yes, I lost 100 pounds. And something that people have a hard time believing that, because I don't have all this saggy skin.
Well, skin is 2/3 of the thickness of skin is connective tissue.
Yes.
And when the connective tissue is happy, there's no wrinkles. I'm 83 years old and I don't have any wrinkles. And most people, they look at me, they say, well, like you couldn't have done all these things you say you've done. How old are you? And I said, I'm 83 now. What? Oh, I thought you were 50. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have, the sagging stuff. It's like taking the nutrients and adding the glucogel and the MSM Ultra and having all that work together. I think that's one of the biggest parts, Dr. Wallach. The body can absorb it and it works together.
So you've got it.
It's amazing. So anyways, I think we need to, let's get to some questions.
Okay.
Before we get to questions, I do have to, or I want to actually remind you that this program is sponsored by askdoclive.com, which is a website that has all of the replays from our Ask Doc Live show going all the way back into July of 2020. We have these available to you to be able to watch and rewatch and share with those you think of about any condition. I mean, as you're listening and you hear a condition that yourself or somebody you love has, share this program with them so that they can get nutritional perspective at how to address what they have going on in their body from the cellular level. But again, if somebody referred you to this program specifically, get back with them and say, hey, I watched that program you recommended and I want what they are selling. And it's not so much selling, this is a service. We are providing options that you're not going to hear in mainstream media because they're
it's a lot cheaper than the medical approach.
And I was just going to say, because they're not making a lot of money off of it. I mean, this is something where we're using food as nutrition. And I love this comment on the back of the Hell's Kitchen. It says, eating as an art is very old, but as a science, very young. And that's by Charles King, a professor of chemistry at the university or the Columbia University. So we've got a lot of smart people that listen to our program, Dr. Wallach. So whether you're into art or science, making sure that the food that's going in your mouth is being beneficial to your vessel, your body, the greatest creation of all, is so important. So important. So, and Dr. Wallach, yeah, we wouldn't have this information if it wasn't for all of your studies. But let's go to our first hand that is up.
Okay.
And Mike, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hey, Doc, first I want to say thanks for all you do, and we're very lucky to have access to you.
Well, you're very kind. How can we help you today?
So I've got a client, and he's 69 years old, 6'5", 290 pounds, and he was just diagnosed with prostate cancer. He actually has a tumor on his prostate, and that's where he's at for right now. This just happened this week. And now he's going to go to a specialist and they're going to tell him what he needs to do. But what I wanted you to do is maybe talk about a little bit about prostate and men's health. And then I wanted you to give me your take on what he should do.
Okay, well, a prostate is a sort of male issue, right?
Right.
Just like men can get breast cancer, but it's very rare. But women can't get prostate cancer because they don't have prostates. And so for prostate, we have a great prostate product called ProstFX. It has all the nutrients that the prostate needs and likes. But I choose, when somebody has cancer of the prostate, I choose not to give them that product because I don't want to be driving production of new cells with the ProstFX. But let's see, at 6'5", 290 pounds, if he's an athlete, a muscle bodybuilder, might be fine. But I'd like to see him weigh maybe 250, 240. So maybe he needs to lose 40, 50 pounds. And so just by getting rid of all the bad foods, he'll start that direction. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. All those things contributed to him having cancer. And then it wouldn't hurt for him to have a hair analysis. You can get the book Rare Earths and Cures in chapter 11, tells you how to collect the hair, how to box it up, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in because they won't run the test without the check. And then we need to find out if he has any of these toxic metals in there, like lead and mercury and uranium and things like that. It's amazing how many people have large amounts of uranium in their body and so forth. Anyway, then at 290 pounds, he could take 3 of everything. It's because like 1 of everything per 100 pounds of body weight. And so I want him to take, if finances are not an issue, he could take 3 if finances are an issue. I wouldn't go below 2. Okay. But let's go with 3 because that's the ideal here of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. That's our big hammer in the toolbox. Full dose, everything in that package at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I want him to have 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So I can take 3 of those at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae. And when you talk about the bone marrow, which is your immune system, it also loves this MSM because it's the bone connective tissue that's making the white blood cells that kill the cancer cells and all the antibodies that kill the cancer cells and so forth. So that's why I'm throwing the MSM in for that. And then he also needs our killer biotic, which is the reishi mushrooms. There's like 6 other species of mushrooms in there. It supports the immune system, pain relief, anti-inflammatory. I also like the Cell Shield RTQ. Take 3 of those twice a day. And it's also supports the immune system and anti-inflammatory and pain relief. And then the big one, I would throw in 3 bottles a month of our BTT 2.0 tablets. Now they are not an interchange with the BTT 2.0 powder, which is vitamins and minerals. The tablets are designed to support your immune system, which is very important in this case, and also an anti-inflammatory and a pain reliever. So I want them to take 3 of those 3 times a day. Now I take 3 of the BTT 2.0 tablets twice a day, just for prevention. I've been doing that for 30 years, and when we came out with it. And so it's one of those things where this is, which they say, the appearance of cancer, whether it's breast cancer, uterine cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer, all these types of cancers are caused by things we do, and make us susceptible because of the things we don't do. Okay, it's not autoimmune, it's not genetic, it doesn't just happen. And so you got to stay away from the bad stuff. But let's get that hair analysis and see if there's any toxic minerals we need to get rid of. We do have a program for that. If there's toxic minerals in there, which would contribute to the cause of the prostate cancer. Okay, so let's go there, and keep us informed as he goes to the doctor and gets updates and so forth. And we always say, give us 90 days of a full-blown program, and let's see what goes on. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, fabulous. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's go to the first question that I had emailed into me here. And Doria has it's her niece's son who is 16 years old. I mean, this is starting really young, Doc. He's 6 feet, 156 pounds. He has lost over 20 pounds since April. He started out with stomach aches, became tired, and then started losing weight. He's become lethargic, and food seems to go right through him. More recently, he has gotten heartburn and brain fog. So far, the testing that he's had done shows nothing.
Okay, that's a good thing. Now, he's another one that should probably get a hair analysis, because if all his nutritional minerals are below the bottom line, that means he's not absorbing. That means he's got a gluten issue. The odds are he's got a gluten issue. Was he eating oatmeal for breakfast? Was he eating the breakfast of Champions, Wheaties? Does he eat flour tortillas at lunchtime? Does he eat spaghetti at night? Does he have chicken noodle soup? Yeah, you understand what I'm saying here. Does he have pizza with a flour crust? Okay, and so I guarantee he does. And so this kid has got to get off of gluten immediately. He's got to live like an Asian, live on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and vegetables. And then at 156 pounds, I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose, everything twice a day. I also want him to have the MSM. He could go with 1 bottle a month, take 3 of those MSM twice a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. It'll support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae. I also want him to get our rebound. At his body weight, he could go through 2 or 3 servings of rebound a day. We're kind of backordered right now on the cans because the people who make the cans are having a hard time getting raw materials. But we do have the powder and canisters. We do have the powder in the individual servings, where we get 30 of these sticks, we call them, the individual servings of the rebound in a box. And he could take 2 or 3 of those rebounds. And the rebound is unique as a sports drink. It's not like Red Bull that has caffeine and sugar in it. Our rebound has 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids, very, very important here, plus energy stuff. And that's going to help him with his tiredness and so forth. But also have him take our oxybody. He could take, get him 2 quarts of oxybody. He could take an ounce at breakfast, an ounce at dinner time. And it wouldn't hurt in the middle of the day to have our collagen peptides. I take 3 scoops twice a day, and it wouldn't hurt for him to take, say, 2 or 3 scoops in the middle of the day, in addition to all the stuff he's going to take at breakfast and dinner time. And that's going to help him with his joints and all that kind of stuff, and help rebuild his intestines. But he's got to get rid of the gluten. No wheat, no brown rye oats. He cannot have 1 cheat day a week. Everybody in the household's got to be gluten-free, so he can maximize absorption here, so he can get maximum benefit from all these nutrients. And then Doria should contact us every couple of weeks, anytime he goes to the doctor and gets an update and test and so forth. But get that hair analysis, because we do have a program to detoxify people if they do have toxic metals in them. And also it'll tell us if he's absorbing. The odds are he's not absorbing. Like he says, everything's coming through out the other end. And he's got all these problems, including fatigue and tiredness and so on, heartburn. When you get heartburn, this can be caused by osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve. You get AFib, atrial fibrillation is irregular heartbeat. Doctors think it's a heart issue. No, it's osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve. But you can also get really bad stomach issues called gastroparesis, which doctors can misinterpret as having ulcers and heartburn and that kind of stuff. It's just osteoporosis of the skull squeezing that 10th cranial nerve. And so, because it goes right by the heart and has branches go to the heart, has branches go to the lung, you get COPD, you get asthma, all kinds of stuff, a hiccup, bouts of hiccups. But this kid, he will respond just like you did when you got off of gluten and took all those nutrients. I think he'll have the same benefit you did.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. I know that Doria appreciates that as she's on with us. I just saw her pop on. Next, we have a comment in our chat here. And good morning, Doc. A client, Michael, weighing 180 pounds, 43 years old. His weight does fluctuate. His height is 5'8" 3/4. He has problems with his teeth and a little fatigued at times. Eyesight isn't good. Last time checking pressure was okay. Cholesterol could be better. Cramps at time only in left leg. Because of diabetes, he has a little nerve damage and now and again a little dizziness.
Okay, well, the dizziness, okay, the 10th, let's see here, the dizziness we're talking about, the 8th cranial nerve, the vertigo dizziness. This is the skull squeezing the 8th cranial nerve. And then, of course, the eyes having problem. This is the skull squeezing the optic nerve, which is the 2nd cranial nerve. All right. And then diabetes, well, that can cause fatigue, that sort of thing. But don't cold turkey off his medication for diabetes, but he needs to get on 2 bottles a month of the sweeties. So he can take 3 twice a day, the sweeties. And then as his blood sugar begins to come down, he can slowly reduce his medication based on the numbers. The teeth, I also want him to take our collagen peptides. He could take a couple of scoops of that with his drink in the morning and the evening. He also needs to take vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I would also have him take the, let's see here, we covered diabetes, fatigue, the rebound, we've covered that, rebound. And the teeth issues, I'm assuming he's talking about cavities and teeth moving around, getting loose, receding gums, all that kind of stuff. All of these things should get better, except for when you get a cavity in the tooth, it needs to be dealt with by filling it. And of course, it's very difficult to kind of rebuild a tooth, but you can stop it from progressing by putting a filling in there and supplementing properly and getting off the bad stuff so you can maximize absorption. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Now, Christy has a very good question. And the fact that I spent a lot of time in front of this machine here, she wants to know if the blue light from phone screens, tablets, and computers contribute to degenerative eye problems.
Okay, well, I cannot answer that correctly because I have not looked up the research on that. So I'm going to do that. I will look up the research on that so I can answer that question. But when people have a gradual loss of vision, almost always is because of osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing that optic nerve, the optic artery, the optic vein. And you get like 4 or 5 different diseases of the eyes when those 3 tissues are being squeezed by the skull. And doctors just say, well, you're getting old, you got to expect that. That's nonsense. Okay, babies are born with these problems. Okay, and I have people who've been with me for 40, 50 years, and they're 90 years old and older, and they don't have these problems because they've been taking my supplement program for 50 years. And so I will, but thank you for bringing that up. I will check that out.
I can say from somebody that spends anywhere from 10 to 14 hours in front of this thing, over the last 5 years taking the supplementation, my prescription is less.
Yeah, it's gotten less.
Yeah.
That's a
quite
good
bit,
thing.
Quite a bit. I can actually drive without glasses now.
Wow.
Just don't make me read any small signs, but I love the fact that I can do that where I couldn't before. So let's go ahead and go to our next hand up, Dr. Wallach, and we have Sam. Sam, go ahead and unmute
We don't
yourself.
need a brand new car.
Okay,
You got way too much background noise, buddy.
got it. Okay, Barbara, thank you. All right. Hey, thank you, Doc. Love you. And Becca, I love you. Your story.
Okay, you're very
Awesome.
kind.
Oh yeah, no, really, seriously. So I want to share something. A very good friend of mine who drives a cab, exposed to a lot of people, had been experiencing, he thinks it's the big C, okay, that he had, right? Dizziness, respiratory issues, and he was basically able to overcome it using the silver nanohydrosol with 2 15-minute sessions a day, and in 2 days, gone. So it's such a simple technique to use, and I just want to send that out to everybody, right? And
Okay, well, thank you.
yeah. It's,
All right, so the next step is to get him on a protocol to prevent.
I'm working on him to become a health coach. He's aware of it and he's pretty sharp. So I'm working on him to, to help other people as well as himself. But you got to start by doing it first.
Even drivers need nutrients.
Right. Even drivers need more probably. Right.
I think drivers need more because they have to stay more alert, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Sam brought up a health coaching program. So part of one thing that is available to the community is the Certified Holistic Health Coach program that is offered by the Institute of Holistic Health. If you're interested in that, get with the person that shared this program with you, or you can also go to instituteofholistic.health.com, and that's holistic with a W, and read up some information on it, and go to the ask.live.com website and click contact us, and we will help you get set up for that. So let's go to the next hand that is up, and Lori, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on.
Hello, Lori.
Hey, Dave, I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, and I still am getting my money together to buy what you suggested. But I didn't share was I had that camera capsule, and they were checking to see why I lost so much blood. But you were just talking about the villi and gluten. Is it possible to grow back your villi?
Oh, absolutely. No, I don't care if you're 150 years old. If you get off of gluten, so I can tell you have a gluten issue because you have white hair. This is a
And
very
white lips. I noticed my lips are really bad.
Yeah, so you're not making enough red blood cells because your bone marrow is not happy, okay? And because you're missing nutrients, and your gray hair is a warning signal that something bad is going to happen if you don't deal with this. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your feet and legs?
A little tiny bit around my ankles, but my energy is extremely low and my brain is not doing well.
Okay, well, that's because you have nutritional deficiencies. And if you've been eating oatmeal for breakfast and the breakfast of champions, Wheaties, flour tortillas, bread, chicken noodle soup.
No. And the funny thing is,
you're telling me you don't eat bread?
I do eat some bread once in a while or fried food. So I notice that in my hands that I've got spots. So I am listening to your Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And I'm a health coach and I'm a holistic chef, but I just had some health challenges that put me in a van. So I don't have a kitchen right now. But
okay. Let's get you going here. Let's get you off all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, no oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. How much do you weigh here?
I don't do any sodas.
Lori, how much do you weigh?
I weigh about 180.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'11". I lost an inch, and I know you said I've got osteoporosis of the skull. And once in a while I get really sharp pains in my left ear, so I know that's all
Osteoporosis
my
of the
head.
skull. Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. And let's see. How tall are you? 5'11"?
I'm a 5'11", and I'm
And
about
what's your age?
100. I'm
80
60
pounds?
years old.
60. Okay. Yeah. And so you're going to look 25 years younger when you start taking this program and get off of gluten and live like an Asian, live on rice. And see, this morning for breakfast, I had 3 soft boiled eggs, okay, with soft yolks. I had a pretty good couple of slabs of the smoked wild Alaska salmon, not from the farm, but wild, caught from the river. Okay. And then I also had, let's see here, I had wild rice, not fried, but just steamed rice, wild rice. And then I had 2 servings of yogurt that are sugar-free and gluten-free. One was strawberry rhubarb, and the other one was lemon. And then I had all my supplements.
Can I move
And
in with you?
well, what should I say? We do have a big laboratory and a warehouse for our books and everything called Wellness Publications. And we have people who come and they spend a little bit of time there. We do charge them rent and all that kind of stuff. But it's one of those things, we do have people who come and want to stay for a while and kind of see what goes on. Well, that's one of our smaller facilities. We do have our big warehouse and our production and sales and shipping facility called Wellness Longevity. And we have warehouses in 60 countries. And we deal with 2 million patients a month all over the world. Okay. On some days, I'll see 2 million patients. Okay. And I do this through the hands of, like Rebecca and John T. and Ruth Ellen. Like, how many people are we seeing today through them and teaching them to do all the right things? But your hair color will come back if you do the right things. And that's telling you you're absorbing the nutrients, but you got to get rid of the gluten. You can start right away. You'll save a lot of money just by getting rid of the gluten and eat like an Asian. Rice is a lot cheaper.
I don't have a
Okay.
kitchen.
I don't care. You have a hot plate or something like that, or a microwave or something like that in your van.
No microwave. Someone stole my stove. I have to buy a new one.
Okay. You're finding every way you can't do anything. Find a
No,
way
I'm
where you
gonna
can
buy
do
it.
it.
I'm gonna buy a new stove.
Okay.
I've got bone broth. I like rice. I had pho for lunch and dinner last night.
Okay. So you
Right.
need to move forward here, girl.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's look for solutions, Lori. That's awesome that you're on your way to finding those solutions. So we are at the top of the hour already. I cannot believe that we've already gone an hour. So everybody go ahead and get up and stretch and fill your cup back up. Make sure that you're staying hydrated and getting some movement in that body, as many of you like me are just sitting here listening and just taking great notes and just really being a sponge to the information that is being shared. For those of you who are listening and like, oh, what did he just say? What recommendations did I need for osteoporosis of the skull or, any specific conditions? All of our replays are available at askDocLive.com. And our incredible co-host, John T. McCollier, is like Johnny on the spot when it comes to getting these posted on the website, sometimes within a few hours, sometimes the next day. But unless there's technical issues, they are always there before Monday. So I just want to encourage all of you to just focus on listening right now and then go back and, write notes. Say, okay, today is October 29th, and he mentioned this condition. So you can go back to the website and pull the video up and watch again. But again, askDocLive.com. If you have questions, don't know exactly what to take, and you were not sent to this program by somebody specific. Again, if you were sent to somebody specific, it's been sent here by somebody specific, get back with them because they have a vested interest in making sure that you get what you need to have an optimal life. So I will be right back as well. Again, stand up, stretch, fill that water cup, put a splash of minerals, and we'll be right back. All right, thank you everybody for sticking here with us with Ask Doc Live, where you are able to ask Dr. Wallach questions in regards to yourself or a client or a loved one that you know, because this is a resource to help spread information that you're not going to hear anywhere else. My name is Rebecca Kozak, and I am your host. And we also have a call team that is standing by for those, again, who were not sent to watch this program by anybody else. They have not spoken to anybody about any of the supplementations that you're hearing about today. And that number is 855-949-7234. So, Dr. Wallach, I see that you are back.
I'm back.
Yes, you are. And let's go to the next hand that is up. And we
Okay.
have Kelly. Kelly, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself, and if you are able to turn your camera on, that would be fantastic.
Oh, I really would, but I don't have a webcam set up right now. No,
Okay,
yeah,
on my
no,
end, it says that you do. It's just covered back, but go
Now,
ahead.
is this Charlie or Charlene?
Kelly.
Okay, how can we help you?
Hey, thanks for letting us come on the show. I've been for years trying to figure out, my son has like focusing, like struggles with getting distracted or focusing. And I've always wondered if it could be a deficiency or something, but I've never known.
Yeah. How old is she?
Well, he's actually 23.
Oh, he.
Yeah.
Okay. 23. Okay. And how much does he weigh?
I should have got that, but I'm going to guess somewhere around 160, something like that.
Okay. And how tall?
About 5'5", yeah, about 5'5".
Okay. Any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, low back problems?
Pretty healthy kid, except he does struggle with sleep, like getting to sleep or never getting enough sleep.
Okay. So sleep issues. Okay. Does he have any skin issues, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, acne, anything like that?
Yeah, when he was atopic dermatitis, like if we rinse, like he wash and rinse his clothes twice.
Okay.
And
then, okay. And then any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, celiac disease?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, yeah, focus could be a lot of things. It could be low blood sugar, could be, reactive hypoglycemia. It could be just simple nutritional deficiencies. So the guy who's 160 pounds, I want him to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bar rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And then I want him to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, soft boiled, soft yolks, soft poached, soft yolks, soft scrambled butter, not fried, not hard boiled. Okay.
Okay.
It's 3 eggs twice a day because 75% of the brain weight is cholesterol. Can't be living on a cholesterol-free diet and taking statin drugs and lowering cholesterol and have any kind of brain function. All right. Then, in addition to the 2 healthy brain and heart packs, I also want him to have 1 bottle a month of the MSM, so he can take 3 of those twice a day in case he's getting osteoporosis of the skull. I also want him to have our D-stress capsules, capital D, like David-stress, take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. And then I also want him to have our sweeties, take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month, just in case he has a sugar issue. And then it wouldn't hurt for him also to get a hair analysis. Get the book, Rare Earths and Cures, and go to drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com, and get the book, Rare Earths and Cures. Or maybe you can, Rebecca will put out their website so they can get it through them. Either way. And in chapter 10 and 11, it'll tell them how to collect the hair, how to box it up, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in there because it won't run the test without, and see if he's got any toxic metals like lead and mercury and uranium and weird stuff in his head. We'll find out if he's absorbing, because of all his nutrients are down. That means he's not absorbing. So all these things will be very important. But the diet is important to get rid of all the bad stuff, and especially the gluten,
Uh-huh.
and then take the supplement program. And then for energy, I want him to use our rebounder, sports drink. He could take 2 or 3 servings of that a day, but I wouldn't take it after 4 or 5 o'clock because he might stay up all night if he drinks it at 8 o'clock at night watching TV or something like that.
Right.
And find out if he falls asleep watching TV after dinner. That's a very important piece of information. Find out if he has gray hair. I know he's only 25 years old, but I've seen 3-year-olds with gray hair, okay? Because it's a nutritional deficiency. It's not a factor of age. So he gives us clues of what's going on, okay?
Okay.
So he should see some remarkable, I always say, give us 90 days, but he should show a remarkable improvement.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
You betcha.
All right, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for that. And the next question, or actually it's a comment that Carrie made in the comments today that says he is talking to the doctors of the home directly, us. So I'm going to take that as a compliment because I'll tell you what, I have my own best interest at hand and I don't have to pay somebody else to get it. So thank
So
you.
I apologize. I missed what he said.
Carrie said he's talking to the doctors of the homes directly, us.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. So, and then Lori has a question actually, she just asked that question. So we'll go ahead and skip that. But Tara has a client that's dealing with hemorrhoids and is having Charlie horse cramps in her legs. She's 36 years old at 150 pounds. So what would you recommend for somebody that's got hemorrhoids, Charlie horse, female, 36 years old and about 150 pounds?
Okay. I would guess that she has gray hair also. She may also have varicose veins and spider veins because they're all caused by the same deficiency. All right. And then, so I would have her get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then I would have her take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I'd get her 1 bottle a month of the MSM. She can take 3 of those twice a day. They're big bottles, so she should be able to do that. And it'll support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone itself. And that will include the connective tissue and arteries and veins, including hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are just varicose veins in a funny place. Okay. And then the Charlie horses, she could have, it could be a neurological thing where she's got low back issues going on. And this results in a squeezing of the sciatic nerves, which cause stuff going on downstream, if you will. Charlie horses, in the back and the legs and so on. And then that's what the MSM is for. Don't forget vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. It wouldn't hurt also to throw in the Beyond Osteo FX liquid, take an ounce of that twice a day and be 2 quarts a month. And then don't forget the rebounder, sports drink for the energy. And she could take 2 or 3 doses a day of the rebound. And it has 100 nutrients in it, as well as being an energy drink. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And let's go to the next hand that is up. And forgive me, is it Olav? Go ahead and unmute. You are on live with Dr. Wallach. Wait, go ahead and unmute. Do you see that?
Oh.
There you go.
Yes, it's good. Hello,
Okay,
Dr. Wallach. Hello, Rebecca.
Yes, sir. Okay, I apologize. What's your name again, sir?
Olaf. I'm from the Netherlands.
Olaf, okay.
Yes. Well, thank you for taking your time for me and all that you do.
Yes, well,
for
how can we
Rebecca.
help you? How can we help you, sir?
I'm 46 years old. I'm 6'1" and I weigh 195 pounds. My main concern is for about a year now, I've been having an increasing cramp feeling just on the right side of my stomach, right after meals. And I get this blown up feeling right where my gallbladder seems to be, right on the rib cage. And the blown up feeling sometimes extends a little bit to the center of my stomach and it goes away after some hours. But there seems to be this continuing feeling of having a brick on the right side. And I feel a bit lifeless, and I used to have a little bit of red skin around my waist, but that's gone now. And that's it. And I was wondering if you would have any advice on the supplements I could order.
Sure. Now, do you have any ringing in the ears or tinnitus or buzzing
No,
or
sir.
any noise?
No. No.
Any dizziness or vertigo?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any heart issues? Anything like that?
No, I don't have any heart issues. Sometimes when I eat something wrong, I get a heightened heartbeat, but it's not a heart issue.
Okay. By a heightened heartbeat, you get thumping or?
Yes, it goes to 130 beats per minute or something.
So you get tachycardia, you get a fast heart rate.
Yes,
Okay.
a fast heart rate. Yes.
Okay. Did you have to go to an orthodontist when you were kids? Did you have to wear braces and straighten out your teeth and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay. Yeah, you might have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, which can cause gastroparesis, which causes all the stomach stuff. And also, this heart thing, this tachycardia, can be caused by a squeezing of the 10th cranial nerve by the skull. It's called tachycardia. And if it becomes irregular, okay, then that's called atrial fibrillation. And doctors want to anesthetize you, cut you open, and put a hot branding on your heart. And they kill a lot of patients with that ablation treatment. But they think it's a heart issue, but it's really osteoporosis of the skull. All right.
Okay. Yes.
And so, especially you say you had the dental problems, you had braces when you were a kid, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, I did. Yes.
So osteoporosis, you can be born with osteoporosis of the skull. So it's not a thing of aging. It has to do with nutritional deficiencies.
Okay.
So, but you look like you're in pretty good shape. Are you coloring your hair, or is that?
No, it's the original color. It's still the
Okay,
original.
Okay, very good, very good.
Yes.
All right. So at 195 pounds, once you get rid of all the bad foods, as we said, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, no sugar, no carbonated drink. Eat like more of an Asian instead of a Norwegian, right? Or a Swede, or
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I want you to get 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose twice a day. Get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, including the skin and arteries and veins and muscles, tendons and ligaments, bone matrix, very important here. That'll also help the immune system. All right.
Yes.
And so you might have what's called gastroparesis, where you're having this sort of stomach cramp after meals. It's called gastroparesis. And when it gets bad enough, doctors will say, "Oh, you got a gastric ulcer. We got to take half your stomach out or something." They'd love to do those surgeries, right?
Oh.
But at any rate, let's not go there.
No, please.
Okay. And then you can use our rebound or sports drink for the energy piece. And how's your sleep? Do you sleep well?
Yes, I sleep very well. Yes.
Okay, good. Then I would go again with the rebound. You could take 2 or 3 doses of that a day. Just don't take it after 4 o'clock because you might stay up all night. Do you ever get sleepy or drowsy watching TV after a meal at nighttime?
No,
time?
no,
Okay.
no, I don't.
Oh,
no.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's go with this. I think you're going to have a great, great testimony. So call us every couple of weeks and let us know how things are going, because if you do these things, I believe, within a couple of weeks, you're going to see a huge benefit. Within a couple of more weeks, almost this stuff can be all gone. Certainly within 90 days, it'll be gone. We see so many patients with this sort of picture you have, and it's the beginning of things happening. And so if you catch it at this stage, it's very easy to turn around very quickly, okay?
I used to order the ultimate enzymes for my stomach, but you're advising me to take the MSM Ultra.
What I want you to do is take the MSM also, yes, because that's for a totally different thing. The MSM is for the osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing that 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, which controls the rate and rhythm of the heartbeat. Okay, it controls the lungs. Do you ever get hiccups or anything like that?
No, rarely.
Oh, okay, yeah, but it also causes gastroparesis, is pain in the stomach. And when it gets bad enough and people really, really are complaining, the doctors, well, we got to take out half your stomach because you got an ulcer. They don't even do an x-ray or anything, but they hear that pain thing. And they say, oh, you got an ulcer. No, gastroparesis, osteoporosis is called squeezing that 10th cranial nerve. Okay.
Ah, okay. I understand. Yes.
Very
Thank you
good.
very much, Doc.
We look forward to hearing from you again,
Yes.
Olaf.
Yes, I'll keep you updated. Thank you very much.
Please. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you, Olaf. Now, Dr. Wallach, the next question is from Monica. She says, I'm vegetarian. I love lentils. Any health problems eating them every day?
I accidentally muted Dr. Wallach.
Go ahead and unmute, Dr. Wallach.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I love vegetarians. I eat them every day. Roasted and baked, not fried. Okay, but you know, all kidding aside here, if you're a vegetarian, you really must supplement. And this is the story of the book Epigenetics. It goes through all these diets. There's, like 50 different diets from all these wannabe knowledgeable people about health and everything, and wonder health fit people, vegetarian diets, vegan diets, so forth. They got diets named after cities. It's crazy. All right. The North Shore diet, the South Shore diet, the San Francisco diet, all these diets, because they think this is why people live longer. We have to appreciate that your possibility for life, a human life expectancy is 155. And in America, our average is 75. When you look at longevity worldwide, we rank 48th. When you look at longevity compared to just industrialized nations, we rank 17th. Okay, but when you look at the world, we rank 48th. There's 47 other countries whose people live longer than us. Okay, and when you look at Italy, they live to be 83. You look at Australia, they live to be 83. You look at let's see, Vietnam, they live to be 76. The UK lives to be 81. New Zealand lives to be 82. The Huns live to be 120. What? Oh, the Huns live to be 120. That's their average, but their oldest ones live to be 160, 165. Okay. And then, of course, Japan lives to be 84. And so, here's one. Medical doctors in America. Now, listen up here. This is important. Medical doctors in America. This is CDC just 6 months ago. Medical doctors in America, especially if they work in the emergency room, their average lifespan is 57. 57 is the average lifespan of medical doctors who work in emergency rooms. Now, doctors, if you get run over by a truck and you're bleeding internally, I would go to an emergency room. But if you want to have a long, healthy life, you want to get a hold of the book Epigenetics, the book Hell's Kitchen. You want to get a hair analysis, get a hold of that book, Rare Earths and Cures. Get on the 90 essential nutrients, praise the Lord and pass the 90. Don't forget about that CD and the DVD, praise the Lord and pass the 90. We take people who've been in comas for 8 years, being fed through a G tube in a nursing home. We put our stuff, our nutritional program through that G tube 3 times a day. And within 3 days, they wake up and go back to work. They didn't realize they were in a coma for 8 years. Hello. Okay. Our body needs these 90 essential nutrients. So being a vegetarian, lentils is not the answer to longevity or not. The nice thing about lentils is they're kind of like flat beans. Okay. They don't have any gluten in them. And so lentils are very, very useful from the standpoint you're going to get. It's almost like having vegetables out of your garden. And, but you want to make sure that you're also not eating any gluten. No wheat, butter, rye, and oats. No wheat, butter, rye, and oats. I don't care if they're organic. Organic just means no chemicals. Organic doesn't mean safer. It just means no chemicals. If you eat wheat that's organic, it's still got gluten in it. Organic wheat will still kill you. Okay, so I hope that kind of gets through. Eat like an Asian. Rice, I like wild rice, but you can get brown rice, red rice, yellow rice, white rice, because you're going to get your nutrition from the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. That way you're guaranteeing Are you going to put dirt from Texas or Saudi Arabia into your car? It's only 10 cents a quart for a quart of dirt from Saudi Arabia. Why would you spend $1 a quart for oil when you can spend 10 cents for a quart of dirt? There's bound to be some oil in that dirt because it's from Saudi Arabia or from Texas or Oklahoma. An idiot, crazy, drunk wouldn't do that to their car. But when a doctor says, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need, don't waste your money on vitamin mineral, people, oh, my doctor says I can get everything I need just by eating well. Well, how old is your doctor? Well, he died a couple of years ago. Well, how old was he? Well, he was only 47. Well, I wouldn't take much truck with what he said. Okay, back to you, Rebecca.
So Dr. Wallach, it makes you wonder, okay, we're ranked 48th, yet people come here for medical treatment.
Well, that's because our medical doctors are great salesmen. They put out around the world that we have the best medical system in the world, and they get paid the most. I mean, we spend more money. We spend more money. We spend 2/3 of the world's expenditure for healthcare here right in the United States. We spend 2/3 of the world's expenditure for healthcare in the United States. But we only rank 48th in longevity. Okay.
Yeah, so I personally, I declined 3 different back surgeries. And I'm so thankful that I did, Dr. Wallach, because today I don't need them, and it was all
Well,
through nutrition.
Well, see, you're not only beautiful, you're smart.
I do try. I do try. So Dr. Wallach, the next comment in the chat is, a relative of mine over 65 years old has recently started hot flashes. This is a gentleman who is 5'7", 165 pounds. What would you recommend for a man that has just started to have hot flashes in his mid to late 60s?
Okay. Well, here's a guy, he needs to check out his blood sugar, do his own blood sugar test. Okay, do a 6-hour where you're doing a blood sugar every hour for 6 hours after you eat. And then it could be just from reactive hypoglycemia getting hot flashes. Okay, if he has ED along with it, erectile dysfunction, okay, that's another story. But it wouldn't hurt for him to really know what's going on. So I'd have him get the book, Rare Has Been Cures, go to chapter 10, 11, get a hair analysis with the information there. It'll tell him how to get the hair analysis. Don't forget to put the check in because they won't run the test without the check. And he'll see what's going on with his absorption, with minerals, what's going on if he has toxic minerals and so forth. But then, and you say 165, 167 pounds, somewhere in there.
130, yeah, so 165 pounds.
Okay, 165 pounds. So yeah, I wanted to have, get rid of all the bad foods, and then 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose of everything twice a day. He also needs the MSM. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 1 bottle a month. And have him take the Sweeties. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. And it wouldn't hurt also for him to have the Zera test. I take 3 of those. I'm 83 years old. I take 3 Zera tests twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And it gives his Sertoli cells in his testicles the nutrients that they need to make testosterone. He's got to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, soft boiled, soft poached, soft scrambled in butter. Hard boiled eggs and fried eggs won't count. All right. And so let's start there. But I do want him to get that hair analysis to see if he's got any toxic metals, see if he's absorbing, because if all the minerals are low, then he's not absorbing. If they're sort of all over the place, that means he's absorbing. Okay. So we need to know all that information, but taking these programs will get him on the right start path, because hot flashes can be caused by a blood sugar issue. Don't forget the Sweeties, 3 of those twice a day. It could be due to lack of hormones. If he's not eating eggs, he's taking statin drugs. If he's on statin drugs, he's got to wean off of that. Don't just cold turkey off of the statin drugs. But once he starts with the Zera test, as he begins to feel better, he can slowly reduce the amount of the statin drugs he's taking, because 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. I'll repeat that, 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. And 95% of the weight of testosterone and estrogen is cholesterol. So you don't want to live a life without cholesterol. If you have, you know, like a month's supply of statin drugs, I would box it up and give it as a Christmas present to your doctor. Even if even if your doctor is a female, have her give it to her husband.
All right, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for that. Our next question actually is the next hand that is up. So Nick, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you're able to turn your camera on, that would be fantastic as well. And Nick puts in here, and we need to give a great big thank you to Grandma, who is 80+ years old, who has sent Nick to watch our program.
Okay, Grandma's pretty smart.
Hi. So I just have
Hi.
the fibroid issues, and I have to be, if I don't stay laying down for 4 days straight during my cycle, then I end up in the emergency room with what feels like massive bursting going on inside my uterus.
Okay, fibroids. Okay, let's see. What color is your hair?
It's brown, and I don't really have much grays, but I bleach it.
Okay, but I could tell you coloring your hair. So you do have some gray hair. And how old are you?
I'm 37, but I only have like maybe 5 or 6 gray hairs.
It doesn't matter. If you have one, you have gray hair.
Right, but I mean they're you really can't see them.
It doesn't matter. They're a
Okay.
symptom. They're a symptom of a nutritional deficiency. That's what I'm
Right.
getting at.
Okay.
Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your feet or ankles?
Nope.
Do you have hemorrhoids?
Nope.
Nope. Do you have any
Nope.
fast heart rate?
Nope.
Any skin problems, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis?
Nope.
Any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea?
None.
None. Any respiratory problems, hiccups, asthma, bronchitis? Nothing. No diabetes, no high blood pressure, no other issues other than one gray hair.
I didn't say 1. I said like 7.
Okay. So basically what I would do, and I apologize, how much do you weigh?
135.
135. Okay. What kind of work do you do?
I work on a farm.
Okay, good girl. Farm girl. Do you raise crops or animals?
Animals.
Goats, pigs, sheep, cows?
Goats, chickens, pigeons, ducks, geese.
Okay. All right. What I want you to do is get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And at 135 pounds, I want you to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. And I want you to get another bottle of our selenium, not selenium from Walgreens, but our selenium, because it has 5 cofactors in there. The cofactors in our selenium, there's 1 bottle in the healthy brain and heart pack. So I want you to take 6 a day, 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner, or 3 twice a day. Because they're going, that the white hair you have, the 1 or 2 or 3 you have, they'll go away. That's telling me you're absorbing properly. But also it's going to prevent you from having a life-threatening event. Because the same things that are caused by the nutritional deficiencies like white hair also cause varicose veins and hemorrhoids and aneurysms of the brain and aneurysms of the aorta and the heart, coronary arteries, and so forth, which are life-threatening. So you want to watch that. But they also help with fibrous tissue, including the connective tissue in the uterus. People forget that the uterus has connective tissue in it, okay? Because the uterus is a muscle. It has connective tissue just like your arm muscle, your leg muscle, and so forth. And so fibroids, okay, are fibrous connective tissue inflammation in the walls of the uterus, all right? So I want to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack, another bottle of our selenium, so you can take 3 of our selenium twice a day, a half a dose of everything else twice a day. I want you to get our Xerafem. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month of our Xerafem. That'll give your ovaries what they need to make estrogen and progesterone properly. Don't forget 3 eggs twice a day. You're raising chickens. I hope you're getting some eggs, but you need to have the eggs soft boiled, soft poached, soft scrambled in butter, no fried eggs, no hard boiled eggs. And then call us every couple of weeks, because you're going to have a great testimony. All right. You're suffering from a common scenario of things that young women suffer from, because they're giving up eggs because they don't want cholesterol. and then they can't make estrogen.
So I
Okay.
eat eggs, and I eat pretty healthy. I don't drink soda. I don't drink fried foods. I don't eat gluten. I haven't done that for years. I've been pretty on top
Good.
of my health for a while.
Okay,
I
good.
just wanted to know if you had to know why this was happening.
Yeah, because you have deficiencies. Yes, you have deficiencies. Eating healthy is a, what should I say, is a self, it'll make you feel good by saying I eat healthy, but it doesn't matter. Now, do you give, do you just throw wheat out to the chickens, or do you give them chicken pellets?
No, they actually get grain. They get actual corn grain, and then they get bird seed. They don't get wheat. We don't give them wheat.
Okay, do they get any like alfalfa pellets with vitamins and minerals in them?
They get a regular pellet that does not have wheat in it.
But it does have vitamins and minerals in it.
Correct.
Okay, so you're giving a supplement program to your chickens and to your goats and all your other animals, but you have to do the same thing.
I do the same thing.
So you're taking the chickens' alfalfa pellets.
No, I take my own supplements for humans. Really? I take chicken supplements?
Okay, but I'm trying to make a point here, because
Well,
you know.
Because I'm not you're just telling me to take some pills, but you're not really telling me, like, this is the exact same. This is why I don't go to doctors, because.
Okay, stop. Okay, I want you to listen. Okay, the reason why you have this problem, you have you have multiple nutritional deficiencies. You have fibromyalgia of the walls of your uterus. You have fibromyalgia of the walls of your uterus. You have fibromyalgia of the walls of your uterus, okay? And so you need to stay away from the bad stuff so you can absorb the nutrition. Then you need to take the nutrients, including the MSM, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the vitamin D3, and also the Xerafem, to get all the nutrients into your body so it can rebuild all the connective tissue in the walls of your uterus. People get the same thing happening in the walls of their arteries and veins. They get the same thing happening in their tendons and ligaments, in their disc between their vertebrae, their skin, and so forth. Okay, but you have a great story. You'll be able to give us a great testimony when you do these things. But in the book Epigenetics, I go into the fact that all these animals we raise on farms, we give them all these pellets with all the vitamins and minerals in it. And the first thing that somebody will tell me is, I eat well. I just want to pull my hair out. You're not giving yourself alfalfa pellets with all these vitamins and minerals in it? No, I eat well. Okay, that's why you have a problem, because you can't get enough nutrition just by eating well. Because a plant, okay, are you still there, Nikki?
No, she has left.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, she didn't want to hear me.
No, and Dr. Wallach, coming from a point where I used to supplement a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but there were missing pieces that were still causing decline in health.
Yeah, but
You've
see,
got to be open to saying, okay, you've been doing this for so long, let's try something different.
yeah. Well, say taking Centrum has 27 nutrients in it.
From rock,
Well, you're still missing the other part of the 90.
that too.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I supplement, but just you'd be better off eating the chicken pellets than you are eating Centrum.
Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. So, just something to think about for everybody. If you've been on a program for a long time and you are still experiencing things that cause, especially those things that cause great discomfort in your body, that's your body saying, hey, I'm still missing something. So just give this program 90 days, what Dr. Wallach is recommending, and I know you will be feeling a difference. I know I did. I mean, I remember those severe cramps. It's been over 5 years since I've had them, and I'm just so thankful for that. Those hot flashes, thing of the past, so thankful for that. The only thing I did different was start following Dr. Wallach's good foods, bad foods list, which you can find at askdoclive.com. And then getting on a quality supplementation program that is put together intentionally putting the 90 essential nutrients in every dose. I mean,
Yep.
Dr. Wallach, your mind is incredible. And I thank God, and I know so many who thank God for you and what you have done.
I'm at the head of that list of thanking God. He's my
Yeah.
hero.
I know you are, because your story is absolutely incredible. I mean, I have so many people with children, and it seems like more and more children that are not able to function in everyday life, not able to be in a standard classroom. Yet I have clients whose children now are taking full loads in college and doing well, that have
Yes.
have been on the spectrum with very severe autism. And it's just, the parents are so thankful. The kids, I'm sure, are thankful too. But I know as a parent, to see your child struggle and then to see them excel is one of the greatest things in the world.
That's right. Praise the Lord and pass the 90.
That's right. Let's go to the next hand that is up, and that is Renee. Renee, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you're able to turn your camera on, that would be fantastic as well.
Hi,
Hello, Renee. Hi.
there we go. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm calling with a follow-up.
Okay.
Let's see, I called in September, and I've been taking all of the suggestions, and I'm feeling a lot better.
What were your major complaints in September? I've
The
spoken to tens
major,
of thousands of people since then.
I know, it's gallbladder. So wanting to remove my gallbladder, and gastritis. Those were the two main.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I'm taking the Healthy Pack, the MSN Ultra, the Fucoid Z. Let's see what else. The Ultimate Selenium. The let's see, even the Caltati.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see what else. I have everything here.
I just have
Yeah.
to say, I remember when you came on the first time, Renee, and I could see the
Yes.
pain in your face, and you are just glowing.
Yeah, you have such a beautiful smile. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I feel a lot better. I have my mental clarity. It's a little bit better. Yeah, I feel good. The pain in my gallbladder, I get it sometimes. It's not that sharp pain where I have to go to the emergency room. It's it feels like it's fading away. Yeah.
So you still have a little bit of awareness, but it's fading away.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, thank you. It's a great testimony.
Yes, thank you. I need a refill on everything, so I'll be doing that soon. I also have my husband taking the supplements as well. And everyone in the household, we're all losing weight. My son with autism, because we're changing our diet, I notice just this week, there's less behaviors.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited about that part.
Yeah, you won't have to lock him up in an institution.
Oh my God, that's the nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the testimony. God bless.
God bless you too.
Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
And I do want to mention that, you know, the people that come on and give their testimonies, I don't know that they're coming on to give their testimonies. But we definitely appreciate people coming on and just sharing their gratitude, Dr. Wallach. And the body is going to thank you for it. You're going to thank, you know, whoever's responsible for referring you to the program, to the nutrition. And it all comes back to a man who was given just, I don't know how to say it, Dr. Wallach.
Well, here's the way I think of it, Rebecca.
God has definitely given you to us for a reason. And I am grateful for that.
Well, here's the way I think about it. I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about why was I picked? And I thought I was picked because I was a veterinarian first. And so many things I've done. This would be something that I'd be in the same office with Noah. Okay, it's like Noah and the Ark. You know, and the other day I talked about the Rhino Express book and all the rhino stuff that I did and everything. And that's just one little piece of it, because I do that not only with rhino, but I do that with people of all races and all countries and so forth. And so I look at that and I thought, you know, this is kind of like a Noah and the Ark thing that I'm doing. And that's how I look at it. It's kind of like a apprentice of Noah. I'll consider myself an apprentice of Noah.
There you go. And Christy just put in the comments, I was on what I thought was a good vitamin program since 2003, but I sure wasn't getting the minerals and vitamins I needed. So she felt as well. Now I have Jean, Dr. Wallach, who put in the comments, what would help with TIAs, transient ischemic attack? My friend is 78 years old, 5 foot 6 inches, female, 160 pounds, gray hair. The doctor has prescribed blood thinners, aspirin, stating for blood pressure. But the last TIA was only 2 weeks ago after the 2 weeks after the previous one.
Okay, is this person that Jean's talking about, are they already on the program?
It does not say. So I'm going to say
Okay.
this is probably a new person.
Okay. Well, when you have asthma, okay, that's a nutritional deficiency. When you have gray hair, that's a nutritional deficiency. Okay. And so they need to, at 160 pounds, get off all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no bioranos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And then ideally, they would take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose, everything at breakfast, full dose everything at dinner time. But also take the MSM, go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. That's 1 bottle a month. And this reason I throw the MSM in is because sometimes the asthma can be caused by just a simple, there's a particular deficiency that will cause asthma by itself, but also you can get COPD, which is oftentimes misinterpreted as asthma, which is caused by a squeezing of the 10th cranial nerve, regardless of age, by the osteoporosis of the skull. And so here, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 1 bottle of the MSM, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. Also, the, let's see here, I would also throw in the Fucoid Z, take 3 of those twice a day, as 2 bottles a month. And then it wouldn't hurt also to take some extra of the collagen peptides. Go in the morning drink, put in a scoop or 2, and in the evening drink, put in a scoop or 2 of the collagen peptides. And that's going to help with cartilage and ligaments and tendons. People forget that your lungs, your trachea is all cartilage and ligaments. Your bronchi is all carbon and so and ligaments and tendons, and holding up this little grape-like clusters of your cells in your lungs. But if you take the weight of everything, minus the water, your trachea and your bronchi and all the other little things holding up all these little clusters of cells are connective tissue. And so that's why it's so important to have the MSM when you have lung issues. And so I don't know who diagnosed this person with asthma. Is it COPD? Is it asthma?
Yeah, TIA is what was mentioned.
Okay.
What,
TIA,
systemic
transient ischemic attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where they can, you know, kind of have stuff going on in their brain, stuff going on in their heart and so forth. And usually they don't know this, but people with these problems will have liver problems, will have maybe reactive hypoglycemia, they'll eat a meal. These are the people who fall asleep half hour after they eat, watching TV at dinner time. These are the ones that get into car wrecks. they've had so many car wrecks this year. It's beat the record. It's our record of ever, the worst number of car wrecks, fatal car wrecks in America. And I think it's because people are falling asleep while they're driving, and they're crossing the center line doing head-on crashes and so forth because they have reactive hypoglycemia. And if everybody were to be taking the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and extra sweeties, wouldn't hurt for this person to take some 3 sweeties twice a day, it'd be 2 bottles a month also for that potential issue. And all these problems are going to go away.
I agree. Now, Dr. Wallach, I just opened up an email and let me get back to it. So Thomas is 75 years will be 75 years old before the end of this year. He just worked out an hour and a half, closed out his gym and sat down at the kitchen table, and his BP was 115/63 and a pulse of 82. I've been taking several of the longevity products over the decades, he and his wife, and they've discussed health issues, but they're doing fabulous.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 75 years old with a BP of 115/63 and a pulse of 82 after an hour and 20-minute workout. That's fabulous.
Sounds like me.
Love it. Love it. Yes. So, okay, Dr. Wallach, I have a confession.
Okay. Are you being naughty?
Well, no, I was not, but my body got to experience firsthand this whole thing that's going on with the pandemic, and I am so thankful that it was nothing more than a headache and a slight fever of 99.9.
Now, were you positive? Did you get a positive COVID?
So another member of the family that lives here in the house with me did test positive with the same symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we got some tiredness and loss of smell, loss of taste. But, you know, everything went through. It worked out to be 4,500-mile round trip.
Did you die?
No, I didn't. I didn't even feel like death warmed over. So I'm like super thankful for that. And there's no way I would have driven that long without the good nutrition and keeping me awake and not having to feel like I have to go to that travel food. You know, it's like I had no cravings. I could drive and got the trip done with no problem. And you know,
I'm very proud of you.
I took the Fucoid-Z. I took the vitamin D. Of course, this is all in addition to the Healthy Body Pack. I took extra selenium, and I even took some Oxybody because I know that a lot of people have respiratory issues when they get attacked with this. And thankfully, no one in our family, because I had them all on this as well, and we did the colloidal silver, we did the ultimate zinc. You know, we wanted to make sure that we attack everything, and we were able to come through. I mean, even my mom at 85 years old, my dad at 83, you know, we all came through with no problems. So
well, very proud of you, and thank you for sharing your testimony.
Well, and I just you know, so many times people will get this, oh, so somebody so-and-so tested positive, and they just get this doom and gloom. And I'm hoping that this can be just a light of hope for people, that it does not have to be doom and gloom.
Yeah, if you do everything right, if you do everything, no vaccines are, you know, perfect, but so if you get, you know, if you get a breakthrough infection, you take all your 90 essential nutrients, stay away from the bad stuff, the odds are you will survive and flourish.
Yeah. And I'm all about putting only natural things in my body now. So I'm thankful that I've got those raw ingredients on board that can keep us going. Now, I think we might have one more hand.
Okay, we got time for one more. Yeah.
Or it's a question. She didn't get her hand actually up, but Anne is wondering how long on your program before relief from osteoporosis of the skull She's experiencing right eye closure. So Anne, if you're able to come on with us, that would be fabulous. So Dr. Wallach can ask you some questions to make sure that he's giving the right.
Okay, well, we've done this literally millions of times, so we're very, very up on the answer to that question. It's not unusual for people to see results within 2 weeks, noticeable results. Even people that can't close their hands, and we get them on this program, you know, they're able to play the piano in 2 weeks. It's amazing. And then same way with dizziness, ringing in the ears, tinnitus, vertigo, loss of the sense of smell, gradually losing vision. All of these things go away or improve significantly within weeks. And then sometimes it might take a month or two to completely go away, but you'll see recognizable clinical improvement within a couple of weeks. I always say give doc, and I think you know that term, give doc 90 days. And give doc 90 days, because we rarely fail to see benefit within 90 days, okay? Almost always, like 98% of the time, we'll see benefit within a couple of weeks. We'll see significant benefit within 4 weeks. Within 6, 8 weeks, sometimes everything, all the bad stuff is gone. And certainly within 90 days, it happens so many, literally millions of times over the last 50 years that we just have unimpeachable evidence. And that's why I want people to get the books, Epigenetics, the book, Hell's Kitchen. And then of course we have the basic 4 books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport Aromatherapy, and It's All in Your Head. And those 4 books will go through over 600 different diseases and teach you what to do for them. And you'll pay the wholesale prices at Youngevity if you become a preferred customer. You become an associate, and we're talking about being somebody who's a business builder here and a trainer. You will actually get paid on a monthly basis based on the volume you create. But whether you're a customer or an associate, if you get an auto ship, I will pay the shipping. So you're going to save a lot of money on the shipping. I have people who've been with me for 50 years, and they've shown me where they've saved between $10,000 and $20,000 in shipping costs over the 50 years because they got on auto ship and they never had to pay shipping. And so it's one of those things where people say, well, supplements are so expensive. No, why would you pay retail and go to the drugstore and the grocery store and the health food store when you can get them from us at wholesale? Why would you just buy them on occasion and have to pay the shipping when you get on auto ship, and we will pay the shipping? And then you start helping other people. Every time they buy something, you get a little piece of that action. And so it doesn't take long. You get rid of the bad foods, you're saving enough money by getting rid of the bad foods, which are very expensive, to pay for your products. And this is not difficult. If you can read the 5th grade reading level, you can do this. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to be a nurse, anything like that. This is something that everybody can do. We deal with all races, all religions, all countries. And we have the Dead Doctors Don't Lie. We have that one in 9 languages. And I have my 2 newest CDs. One is Dr. Wallach's Laws let's see here. Dr. Wallach's Laws of Photosynthetic Disruption and Global Warming. It shows that global warming has nothing to do with what's going on. It's not fossil fuels or anything like that. It's another story. So you got to get that CD to listen to it, and you go, oh my gosh. And then we have the newest one is the Manchurian Prescription, which I speak for 2, 3, 4 minutes in English. It's translated by professional translators into Mandarin Chinese. I speak for 2 or 3 or 4 minutes in Mandarin Chinese. This goes on for about an hour and a half. Manchurian Prescription. It was a Zoom that I did into 8 Asian countries. And so again, we have the CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, in 9 languages, including Korean and Mandarin, Cantonese, and so forth. So this is not difficult. We have tools that will help you deal with Chinatown. Why not sponsor some people who own restaurants and acupuncture clinics in Chinatown? why not work with them also? We have stuff in their language that they can understand very clearly. And so let's go for it. Okay, over to you.
Yes, let's go for it. And I can't believe we were at the top of the hour once again with the Ask Doc Live. And Dr. Wallach, on behalf of myself and Ruth Ellen Sanchez and John Tuma Collier, thank you again for another 2 great hours of information, sharing how we can be empowered and take control of our health. Dr. Wallach?
Well, thank
have
you
a
for the
very
opportunity.
blessed day.
God bless you. God bless your team. And look forward to next week.
And thank you, everybody who has gotten on with us today. All of you that are watching the replays, you can be empowered of your health. Get back with the person that shared this program with you and ask them how you too can start feeling the difference. Again, go to askdoclive.com. You've got Dr. Wallach's most popular publications there. You've got the good foods, bad foods list, and the replay of all of our programs at askdoclive.com. And feel free, if you've never spoken to anybody, use that contact us option. And one of our certified holistic health coaches will get back with you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Rebecca. God bless John
Thank
T.
you.
Ruth Ellen. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.